Yes, coming up live on LiveWire. That's the name of the show. We got some wonderful guests. You're going to really, really like Jada Irene and Hester Wagner and what they represent as purveyors of great art in Sacramento. So we'll be with you right after this. With me in the studio is a woman who produces great things, and she also wins great things. And I'm going to show you, she was Miss Black Sacramento cameraman. There she is. How are you?
I'm great. How about yourself?
I'm glad to have you here on stage, and I wish I could put on a diadem like that. That is fabulous.
Thank you. Thank you.
So you were walking down the street one day, and you said, gosh, I think I'm going to apply for the Miss Black Sacramento. I'm going to get it. What happened? How did you do that?
I actually went to a friend's performance at a festival. It was an anti-gun violence festival this past summer, right? And they performed, and then right after their performance, beautiful beautiful women with crowns like this came on stage, and I was like, they're talking about something that might be super cool. And then I left and I was like, nah, not for me. And then fast forward, my nonprofit actually got booked to dance at a gig. And one of the Miss Black Sacramento volunteers actually recruited me and was like, I think you should run. And I was like, well, I guess I can't run now. So I have to.
You can't run now. You get away.
Yeah. So I went for it. And then I had thoughts of dropping out. But my mentor in the pageant was like, are you in or are you out? Because we're going to do this. And I was like, I'm going to do it. And I stuck with it. And
bada boom, bada bing.
Yeah.
It's really interesting. Now, do they force you to go around to other kinds of places and talk about art and life?
Force is an interesting word. But it is a part of like the duty when you reign for a year. You do have to do certain appearances, go to different places, and then they allow you the freedom to do what you want to do. So, for example, this opportunity here was more for Healing Heals, but because I just won and I asked for permission, I get to also be Miss Black Sacramento and represent today. So
it's interesting because, all right, see, we just talked about having a position of influence, an influence, and then what your project here that we're going to talk about is one of having influence in an individual way with artists and their hearts and their willingness and the kind of, you call it the transforming power of dance.
Yes.
I think dance does that too. And why don't you tell me a little bit how you came to that opinion? That it transforms you. It makes you a different person than you were before. How could that be?
So I've always been a dancer. I started in the church doing the acting, singing, theater plays at church. And so throughout the process of growing up, I danced off and on. Mm-hmm. And as I became a senior in high school, I took it a little bit more serious. But then right after high school, I stopped. And after that, I decided to pick it back up slowly but surely. And I started doing heels movement. Mm-hmm. So heel style is, I like to tell people, it's like when you think of Beyonce.
Mm-hmm, yes.
Heels. She danced in her high heels.
One of my favorites.
So that's heels. That's heels dancing. So we would do those kind of classes, and that helped me find confidence in myself, and I seen other women find confidence in themselves too. So at that process, I'm from Oakland, California. So when I moved to Sacramento State, or moved to go to Sacramento State, it was very different. That's clearly not a class that's offered. And I also studied criminal justice. So for me, it was a toxic environment because there was a lot of going on. We had George Floyd, Stephon Clark was all that stuff when I got here. So all of this was happening in my process of being at Sac State as a student. And I was just like, yo, I need something to help me get through this. And so instead of me doing other things, I decided to do dance. I picked up a minor in dance. So every day I had a dance class to attend, and I seen the results it gave me to be more focused as a student, to keep going to school and to like keep persistent and trying to grow to become better. And so once I graduated college, I would say probably like from now to a year and a half ago, a close friend of mine passed away suddenly. And I just kind of was like in this space when I was like, the things that I'm doing every day aren't satisfying me. If I was to go tomorrow, I would be displeased with my life. What can I do about this? Like, I have to make something change. So after she passed, her cousin is my best friend. So I had to make sure like she was good. And I came back home to Sacramento, which I now call home to. And I started having what I just called a freestyle session. So I was grieving and I wanted a space where I could just go move my body. So I rented out a studio. I wound up inviting some of my other dance friends, and I wound up finding out like a lot of us were grieving. A lot of us were going through things that we couldn't talk about, but we just wanted to move our body. So from that moment, I was like, okay, well, I guess I clearly need to keep having these sessions because we are feeling something from it. And then that same time frame, I was also awarded the Seeding Creativity Grant from the city of Sacramento.
Yes.
And so that's how I got to start my production. But because of that, I was able to still have these sessions, start teaching classes, and create spaces for people to come feel safe, just to like let go and release. And that's how we understood like, oh, this actually connects back to our body. And the more that we release, the better we feel, the more we feel confident going out to the world, the more we're not so angry or feel like we're pinning up all this stuff inside of us where we're just releasing it. So
I'm sure that people listening to you right now are thinking, yeah, these are the times we need to have something like this to change our fear and inability to move and learn how to move. And let's have some pictures of some of the slideshows of your group, and you'll narrate, and I'm going for a Coca. No, there's it on the screen. You can look at the screen now. What is that there? Open auditions. That's what we're talking about, right?
Yes.
Casting for Healing Heals. All right, 24. What's 24? It's 20.
The year 24.
No.
So our first company class is the class of 2023. Had about.
That's the class of 2023 down there?
That is the class of 2023.
Way cool.
Yes, including me and the board members. Yes, that's all. Some of the pictures. So that's one of our dancers, Leanna Sommer. She's actually a dance major at Sacramento
Clearly.
State. Yes, I believe she's graduating this year, if not next. Ali Evans, he's one of our leaders in the dance community. He teaches, he's dancing. He's been booked since he's been with us, so we are very proud of him. Who else do we know? We have Kalia. She's grown so much. Kalia Renee, she just started her own production company, just successfully put on her first showcase in August at the Guild, or in January at the Guild. Then we have Aaron. He's amazing, the talented dancer. He actually just moved to LA, so we're trying to actually get him back up here very, very soon. But he's also one of our most talented dancers on the team.
So great. And so if I audition and I'm really, I can possibly dance and do that, can I be with them, or are they coming back? How's it going to work?
So we'll have them. So everybody who's going to re-audition, we're not going to just let anybody in. We do have standards. So we make sure everybody has to, just because you've been on the company before doesn't mean you get slack. You should have been working this whole time. You got better, okay?
Yeah, sure.
But we also just don't discriminate on dancers. We want dancers we look for more of the dancers who are willing to grow. We have a 10-week training program that leads up into the showcase. So if you're willing to put in the time to get better, we would love to have you.
Great.
We can't just have arrogant people like, I got it all, so I don't need to go to rehearsal. Like, everybody.
Show me a Shanae.
Okay, look at your terminology.
Shanae's not easy. You've got to keep your eye on the other side of the wall.
Yeah, exactly. So
fascinating. And I think it's really a great thing. And anybody listening in, so we're going to bring that screen up again with how to contact you and make a meeting with you, and that's really great. And you're up for a couple of awards. I see a Community Impact Award. Is that true?
Yes. I have been nominated by the Sacramento dance community through Sac Dance Lab for the Community Impact Award. But you guys, if you want to go vote, you can type in Jada Irene Linktree. And
Jada Irene
Linktree, and then it's the second tab on there, whoosh, and then you can just go ahead and vote for me. But yeah, I'm definitely not running. I was nominated for that, so we'll find out on Sunday our Saturday who won that award. I'm going against like two really big people in the community.
Yeah.
So I'm just honored to be in the nomination category because.
Well, there's all this idea of all of a sudden being transformed into a leader in the community. It must be pretty heady, you know. But you can see that it gives you a concept that we need leaders, you know, and somebody better do it.
Right.
And so the programs that you talk about and the developing of the programs and the whole idea of movement as a form of transforming me from being someone who, can't do it, you know, is amazing, and it's true. It's true, and I've seen it myself. People who I thought were, uptight, as we used to say in the '60s, become out of their shell and dance, and it came through dance. And what you're doing is, I think, is fine. Your body, your mind, your emotions, all kind of like open up to the world, and you become maybe a leader.
Right. True.
So it's really great. And Kat, you're the summer company. What do they do? What actions? What happens when I get into the summer company?
Yeah. So first step is come to auditions. After you hit auditions, we take the time to gather it. We usually have the choreographers select the dancers that they want to work with, and then from there we're able to start rehearsals. So we start late May, early June, and we run for 10 weeks. We don't have rehearsals on holidays, so just know you guys will have your holidays if you come to auditions. And for 10 weeks, we prep and get ready for the showcase. I take them through, so we're a professional training and coaching company, and a lot of times adults and youth don't have the right etiquette when it comes to performing on a stage, performing in a theater space. Certain things, you're not supposed to touch the wings, don't hit the wings, don't run into the wings.
Don't wave your mom high.
Don't wave your mom high. If the audience can see you, if you can see them, they can see you, so back up. They're just little things that aren't talked about, aren't known, and so we like to provide the space for them to be pre-professionals and grow into a space where they're like, I feel more confident now that I went through this Hill and Heels cohort. I can go into the next show, gig, company, and I can perform at my best self because now I know these things and I feel prepared.
Absolutely. So that's exactly what should happen. I think it's really kind of wonderful. And also you're using the idea of balance and form, feel certain self-confidence. Yes. Has something to do with feeling a balance of your emotions, a balance in your thought processes, and the ability to communicate with someone else that you just met half an hour ago. Yeah. So good. So what we want to do is, we got just 1 minute. Maybe we could bring up the contact information for the open auditions for the annual Healing Heels. There it is. Okay.
Yes. So,
and there's no telephone number there, but you can go on healingheelsofficial.com. That's the www, and get more information, right?
Yes, you can.
All right. Well, Jada Irene, thank you so much for talking to me.
Of course. Thank you for having me.
Okay. Well, you come on back any old time.
Yes, I will.
Okay. Okay, we're going to take a short pause for the cause right now, and we're going to bring a new guest on talking about good things in Sacramento that you can take part in right after this.
¿Qué color? Perfecto, mijo. Gracias. Thank you. What's wrong, mijo?
Donating to a pet's medical care is one of the many ways you can help families in your community. Pets and people belong together. Learn more at petsandpeopletogether.org.
As weather conditions get warmer, cockroaches seek for the perfect shelter.
Are they roaming around your property? Call a pest control company.
Are they crawling out of storm drains? Call your local stormwater utility.
If around manholes, call Sac Sewer.
Keeping these pests away may seem inevitable, but ways to prevent them are:
First, eliminate food, water, and shelter sources.
Second, seal cracks and crevices.
Lastly, remove trash daily.
For more information on the prevention of cockroaches,
Go to www.sacksewer.com.
Okay, we're back with LiveWire, and with me in the studio is Hester Wagner. Hester is a filmmaker, and she works in media and arts and all kinds of places that will allow her to do that.
Absolutely.
But I just am fascinated with this program, you know. It's a filmmaking skill to adults with developmental disabilities.
Yes.
You know, and I have friends who work in the developmental disability world, and I have watched them work over a long time with one of them runs a theater company for people with developmental disabilities, and they hang out at my theater in Midtown, and it's great. They are a great group of people because of the program like the one that you're going to be doing, which is giving them every right and every possibility of being fulfilled.
So Futures Explored, we actually just celebrated our 60th birthday this month. So,
60th. That's when you cranked the film, right?
That's right. I don't think they were doing film back at the beginning. They were doing art, though. Our organization did start with moms working with their, adult children that had disabilities, creating art and selling it. And then here we are 60 years later, still creating art. We have our really successful film program. We've got about 45 students in Sacramento, as well as our other locations, learning film, getting jobs in film, working in all the areas.
Mm-hmm.
But one of the really cool things we did last year was move into a Midtown Sacramento space, very near to your theater. In fact, we share a wall.
We do.
And in that space, as we are building it out to be a number of different things, we now have a sound booth that's like fully ADA accessible, and you can do voiceovers there and record podcasts there. We're finishing our build out for our film studio space that will be a lot like the one that we're in today. And then we also built a black box theater.
Black box theater.
Yeah. So
I have 3 of those.
Yeah. So, I don't see a downside in having more, because there's lots to do, lots of shows to put on.
The more the merrier, and
absolutely.
also the different quality, different choice of content.
Right, exactly.
And
we could put on a
more
festival.
Let theater reign.
Exactly. So we have the space. It's available for groups to come in and do things, and we can have performances there. But we wanted to do something that was inclusive with the community.
Mm-hmm.
So we thought, what can we put together in that space to kind of showcase it for the first time. So
Yes.
This is our inaugural event. In that space, we are partnering with a author and writer and theater director, David Matthew Barnes,
Yes.
who I had the pleasure of meeting during the pandemic when I did a Zoom play.
Uh-huh.
And then he moved back to Sacramento from Colorado, and we said, hey, let's do something together
I'm so
in
glad he came back.
three-dimensional
Who'd
space.
want to go to Colorado when you got Sacramento?
Yeah.
And David Matthew Barnes he's prolific. He's a critic. He's known as a critic, but he's also written buku plays, many plays.
Yeah, he's written over 70 plays. Some have been produced off Broadway. A number of films. He's a film producer,
That's
film
right.
writer, novels, short plays, short stories. So yes, he's prolific is definitely the word, and award-winning. So we're partnering to have this event in our space, and we wanted it to be inclusive of the community, of our students. So we have students working on it, on stage, behind the scenes, doing lights, helping with the sound, being the sound cues and all the things that will happen, helping make the flyers and the posters for marketing the event. So while we're teaching all of our students these film and media skills, many of them cross over to theater. Many of the folks that I know that work in film started in theater, and so there's definitely synergy there.
Absolutely.
So we can have this event. We can invite the community in to learn more about what we do and celebrate the space.
Let's have some social films. You
Sure,
can
yeah.
narrate the slides.
I will narrate the slides.
Here we go. Poof.
So yeah, one of our students created this poster. Hopefully you will all see it around town because we're going to go paper the town with it very soon, but it lets you know the dates and the times and where you can get information about the show.
Oh, that's great.
But again, like you can see the silhouettes, our cast is also
There it
very
is.
inclusive. And there's our space on
That's
our
right
street.
in Midtown at R
26th and R.
26.
Yeah, so we're there. We're hopefully next year going to have a cafe there you can come eat at.
All
And this is
right.
our black box. It's small. It's about 40 seats, but we have a lighting grid that our students helped us
But
design
you can
and
do
put
so
up.
much in one of those.
Yeah,
things.
we
I
have a-
grew up at college
Oh,
that
and
had
there's
one of
me.
those.
So that's the cast of one of our short plays that will be there, called I Bet She Has a Party to Go To, and all of the shows really explore some deep themes. This one, if you identify as female, you will relate to some character in that show.
Is that the name of the play?
That one was I Bet She Has a Party to Go To. Before Harmony Sleeps with Jeff is a little bit about a love triangle, but has an inclusive cast. Very interesting kind of take on a love triangle. So it'll be
So
fun.
how do I find out about if I want to see all this stuff? Do you have a website?
We do.
There
Look
it
at that.
is.
That's amazing how that happens. So there's all the dates that you can find out about. You can go to futures-explore.org. You can follow me on Facebook or David Matthew Barnes on Facebook. You can find us. Our Instagram is there. This is one of the other shows, Hot Rates to Omaha. It's the world premiere of this short play. Yours truly is in it. It's my return to the stage after 8 years of not being on the stage.
Yeah,
So be gentle with me. I'm also in this one. I Bet She Has a Party to Go To, and that's also a world premiere. So those two are
World
getting
premiere.
their world premiere productions in our space, which is really exciting.
And it's so great that California. What's this one?
Number 76 is one that one of our students is in, and it does have some trigger warning. There are talks about suicide, teen pregnancy, some tough themes. We're not dancing around. There's some tough themes in some of these shows, but they're really uplifting. You'll leave the evening feeling moved and yeah. So just again another version of information and how you can find out about the show. But
Yeah.
it's starting soon. We've got just another week and a half or so, and then we open on February 2nd. We'll have an opening night reception after the show if people want to come that night and enjoy mingling with all of us and having some wine and cheese and hanging out.
I just want to say this about doing new plays in California. When I was going to Berkeley in the 60s, if you were a playwright, you did live here. You lived in New York,
Sure.
or you thought about living in New York, or you had to get there, or Chicago, and it has changed so much in that, there is an audience for new works. There are
yeah.
people who care about issues that are written by our playwrights
Yes.
for our world.
Yeah, and one of the things about David Matthew is, he really does touch on themes that are relatable, that are universal, and that are broad. So each play has something different in it. It's a very diverse cast, very diverse themes, and he brings a lot as both the writer of the piece and the director. Working with him has been really amazing. I'm, like I said, 8 years and getting back out there and
Oh, yeah.
pushing to find the moments to really, to get into it. And he's working with a lot of young actors who are new to theater, and it's really amazing.
I know, they're
everybody's
stunned
doing
by,
a great job.
by the way they have to find that inner voice.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's a now. Okay, I'll do it now.
So I think it's there's multi layers to it, right? Like we're going to have this event. It's supporting our program and our students. They get to be involved in it. We're bringing the community in to know that our space is there, making collaborations with others. It's going to have a lot of
Good.
positive
Now we
impact,
have to say
hopefully.
where it is and when is the event again, one more time, because people go, oh, I like that. And then we go on talking and they're listening to us and say, oh, I don't have a pencil.
I
you
will.
know. Oh, there it is.
Yeah,
You see.
there it is. So
Futures Explored.
We open on February 2nd. We have the 2nd, the 3rd, the 9th, and the 10th in the evening. And then we do have a matinee February 11th at 3 if you're more of a daytime person. I will say it's not a play for young kids. So do exercise caution if you're bringing somebody under the age of 10, but I wouldn't recommend it.
So will you up give hand blindfolds and
Yeah,
earplugs?
yeah, but it's going to be a really good time, and I'm really excited about it. And then David Matthew is also starting another theater company called Pioneer Players that is doing Importance of Being Earnest in the spring.
Pioneer
so
Players, wow.
that's going to be exciting. So I'll plug that for him. That you
good,
know, lots
good.
more theater to be done.
Good, and I think it's fascinating, the whole concept of the evening of short plays. Short plays in a set down in an evening can be really great. The Poetry Center in our part of the world has every once in a while a group come in and they'll read short plays or long poems. You know,
Yeah.
sometimes there's a difference. You never get it. You know.
Yeah, I like it because it's a biteable chunk, right? Like it's something you can enjoy. It doesn't drag out, and you get the whole rich story in there. So
Yeah. So, Ms. Wagner, did you come into the theater one day and said, "Gee, I like this. What is this?" Or is your family people from the theater?
Myself, I got involved in theater at a young age because I was really shy, and then just ran it all the way through college and grad school. And
That's
then,
what we just talked about.
yeah, it's right. It's transformative. You know,
Yeah.
dance, theater, the arts. You know, they cut them from our school, and that makes no sense to me because
No sense.
it helps you no matter what you're doing, whether you're an engineer or an accountant or whatever. You know, the arts are there to help. So it saved me being involved in theater. You know, it helped me make friends. It helped me learn about myself, and that's what we do with our students too, right? So.
This is great. So, and one more time, because I think this is all in Midtown. This all happens in
Yeah,
Midtown.
26th and
Sacramento.
R Street. Absolutely. Yeah.
Okay, good. And Futures Film Studio is something that you also push forward.
Yeah. So we have our training program, and then we're also a production company. So we create, you know, corporate content, nonprofit videos, training videos, et cetera. We employ our students to work on that. So, you know, we're growing that. We're here. We're available to the community to, you know, to collaborate on projects, to get involved, and to give people with disabilities a voice in front of and behind the camera.
I can't gainsay that. I don't know what to say, but to say that we got about 30 seconds to go. And you can take it.
Well, thank you for joining me on LiveWire this evening. No, this was really great. I love coming back here. I love the mission of Access Sacramento. It aligns with what Futures does. So we're always happy to be here and to collaborate on things. So
All right,
come
then
see our
it's
show.
my turn. Thank you so much for coming in, and thank you for watching too. You know, LiveWire has a real service to provide because there are so many. It's funny, I did one count once. There was like 142 organizations that I thought that we had serviced over the last, and then I turned the page. 2 pages. We'll see you next week on LiveWire at 5, live at 5 on Wednesdays.